This is a unit conversion problem. It says that the typical diameter of an atom, here's my atom, is 10 to the minus 10 meters. And you might wonder, well, is there a difference between that and 1 times 10 to the minus 10? No, there's not. So the first part says, what is this in inches? So let's do part A. Okay, so we want 1 times 10 to the minus 10 meters, and we need to convert that to inches. Unit conversion is all about multiplying by 1. So let's just multiply by a special 1. That will get me to something that I know. I don't know off the top of my head the conversion from meters to inches, but what I do know is 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Okay, so that gets me part of the way there, because I do know the conversion from centimeters to inches. It's 2.54 centimeters in every 1 inch. You can look these up at the front of your book if you don't know them. Okay, so this is 10 to the minus 10. The meters here cancel, the centimeters here cancel, and we're left with just something in inches. Okay, we have 10 to the minus 10 from that first part. We have 10 to the plus 2 from the second part. And then we need to divide by 2.54. All right. If you remember, x to the a times x to the b is just equal to x to the a plus b. And so here, a is minus 10, b is positive 2. So I've got on the top 10 to the minus 8 inches. There was an inches out here that I forgot. Okay. Now I just need to know what 1 over 2.5 is. Okay, well, what if we make it 1 over 0.25 times 10 to the 1? That's the same thing as 1 over 0.25 or 2.54. But it's a little easier to work with. I dropped the 4 for one thing, so I can recognize this as 1/4. 0.25 is 1/4. And whenever you have 1 over something, it's just equal to the inverse of that fraction, right? X over 1. So 1 over x is x. This is 1 over 4. So this equals 4. And now I'm dividing by 10 to the 1. 1 over 10 to the 1 is just equal 10 to the minus 1. All right, so the answer here is 4 times 10 to the, got an extra minus 1 I need to add here, so minus 9 inches. Part B says how many atoms, and remember the atom is 10 to the minus 10 meters in diameter. It says if I've got a line 1 centimeter long, and a centimeter is not usually this big, but you know, it's all relative. We're zoomed way in so that we can see an atom. And this still isn't the right scale. So how many of these little atoms, if I line them up end to end, will fit along this line? Okay, well, this isn't so easy. What if I asked an easier question? What if I said, how many millimeters are there in a centimeter? A millimeter is 1/10 of a centimeter. So this would be 1 millimeter. And you would know there are 10. So what you do to find out how many fit in something is you divide that something by the little thing. So I divide 1 centimeter divided by 1 millimeter is equal to 10 millimeters divided by 1 millimeter. This is another way to write a centimeter. And this is just equal to 10. The millimeters cancel, and there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter. That's what it's telling you. Well, we have the same problem, but we have something that's not a millimeter. It's a lot smaller than a millimeter. It's actually called an angstrom. It's a tenth of a nanometer, tenth of a billion, tenth of a billionth of a meter. That's what I should say. Okay, so we have the number that fit is equal to 1 centimeter divided by 10 to the minus 10 meters. Well, I can't just cancel these because they're not the same unit. So what I need to do is change centimeters into meters. That's 10 to the minus 2 meters over 10 to the minus 10 meters. Now the meters can cancel. And I've got, look, dividing by, okay, here I'll do an extra step. Over 1 over 10 to the 10th. That's the same thing as 10 to the minus 10. And dividing by a fraction is like multiplying by its inverse. So I need to just multiply by 10 to the 10 over 1. So I have 10 to the minus 2 plus 10. Remember, that's from this other thing. Oops. Right here. Dang it. Okay, so x to the a times x to the b is equal to the x plus b. X to the a plus b. Gosh, it's harder to do this when you're concentrating on how you sound and stuff. All right, so this is equal to the number that fit. Oh man, I'm struggling here. The number that fit is equal to 10 to the 8. Pretty crazy, huh? About 100 million atoms fit in a 1 centimeter line. All right, so that's just a kind of a review of unit conversion. Hope you enjoyed it.